I would now like to introduce to you Governor Roy Cooper.
Wow, Jeff, thank you for your service to our country and now to our children. Deeply grateful for that introduction. Mr. Principal, thank you for your leadership here, and grateful always to Dr. Oakley and her leadership here. We've got Commissioner Cashin, Commissioner Richardson from Rockingham. We've got Councilwoman Abuzude. We've got School Board Chair Hayes, School Board Member Napper, School Board Member Coates, Representative-elect Clark here. And I want to congratulate and thank the local leaders in Guilford County. We've got Mayor Vaughn, who is here as well. Thank you. There are other local elected officials that you guys are here. I want to say thank you for your leadership and to the people of Guilford County for stepping up and passing these bonds so schools like this can be built for our children. I'm deeply grateful for that. Claxton Elementary, wow, what a great place to be. Thank you for hosting us today. Today I have come to Guilford County to cap off a project that we began last January, the Year of Public Schools in North Carolina. It is fitting that we are here in Guilford because it's also the home of our newly elected Superintendent of Public Instruction, Mo Green. He is and will continue to be a champion for our public schools. And more than a year ago when you and I talked about this, I'm so glad you said yes. And the people of North Carolina, back then we didn't even know how bad you needed to say yes. But you did, and thank you for that. I also want to thank the people in the North Carolina Governor's Office. I've got my policy team, I've got my education team, my communications team, my Director of Intergovernmental Affairs. They are instrumental in the work that we do. So all Governor's Office people, please stand up right now. I got some of them in the back. You guys are the best, the very best. I knew 2024 had to be the year of public schools. Why? Public schools create opportunity. In 1965, President Lyndon Johnson signed the Elementary and Secondary Education Act that for the first time provided federal funds to help underprivileged students. President Johnson said, quote, "Education is the key to opportunity in our society, and the equality of educational opportunity must be the birthright of every citizen." So when I think of education, I think of opportunity. Opportunity for that little girl living in a mobile home in northeastern North Carolina to become a doctor or to find a cure for cancer. A little boy living in a little house in the mountains who will become that public school teacher who changes the lives of struggling students, like Jeff, a child from a poor single-parent family in Greensboro right here who could become an astronaut and go to Mars. Opportunity. In fact, leaders in North Carolina during Reconstruction after the Civil War thought education was so important to the recovery of our state, they put it in the Constitution, and it says the people have a right to the privilege of education, and it is the duty of the state to guard and maintain that right. You know, education is the key to most every opportunity, and that's why our public schools needed to be in the spotlight this year. More than 80% of North Carolina's school-aged children attend public schools, and for good reason. In the past 8 years, North Carolina's public schools have achieved the highest graduation rate in the state's history, 87%. North Carolina has more National Board certified teachers than any state in America. In the past 4 years, we've had the National School Psychologist, Counselor, and Superintendent of the Year and the finalists for the National Teacher of the Year. That is quite a lineup, but it is just representative of the kind of educators that we have in North Carolina. Our public schools are providing a career head start to more than 100,000 graduates each year. And last year, our public school students earned more than 325,000 workforce credentials that they can use right now. About a third of our high school students take at least one college course before they graduate. And last year, our public schools set records in both how many students take AP courses and how many pass their AP exams. Our public schools in North Carolina rock, right? They do. Another thing about public schools is that they are the glue that often holds our communities together. Look no further than the response to Hurricane Helene, the deadliest and most devastating storm that has ever hit our state. We must all continue to work every day to make sure they recover. But there, I talked with them because I was on the ground. It was the teachers and the principals who were calling and visiting students' homes in western North Carolina to make sure that all of them were accounted for. School buses evacuated people. Schools helped feed and shelter people who needed help in the harrowing days following the storm. And it wasn't just schools in western North Carolina that stepped up. 53 school districts from across the state sent more than 260 school counselors and social workers to assist students and teachers in western North Carolina when they return to school. It's our schools where the concerts, the dances, the beautiful music like we just heard from those students, the dances, the games, the pancake suppers take place. So many of our communities, especially in rural counties, find their meaning in their public schools, the place where opportunity happens. And that opportunity expands with our community colleges. There are more than 600,000 students enrolled in our 58 community colleges. Many of them work full-time or part-time jobs, and they're looking to upgrade their skills for an even better paying jobs. I love how our community colleges provide that opportunity. That's important because over and over again, as we recruit businesses, my administration, we've told them, thinking about moving to North Carolina, that our community college graduates will absolutely make their companies successful. And we've seen it right here in the Triad with business after business coming here. But in that process, we also discovered that many community college students who face financial challenges like an unexpected car repair, one of those big bills that you get, forces them to drop out. Many students were close to getting their credential or degree when financial challenges stopped them. So we created Finish Line grants that have helped more than 16,000 students finish their education and training that they needed. Opportunity. We also launched the Longleaf Commitment Community College Grant Program to provide students and low and middle income families with support to cover tuition and fees at our 58 community colleges. Opportunity. But I'm going to get real with you folks. There's the other side of the coin when it comes to public education. Missed opportunity. As many of you may know, North Carolina's diabolically gerrymandered partisan legislative districts have resulted in a Republican-dominated legislature. I came into office 8 years ago hoping to reach consensus with them about the importance of public education, and we have made some progress. In the early years, I pushed the legislature to give teachers higher salaries. We set high bars, higher than they had proposed. They didn't go along with everything I wanted, but because of our pressure, teacher pay right now is 19% higher. But over the last few years, right-wing groups and for-profit schools have peddled a false narrative that our public schools are failing in North Carolina and across our country. But they have it backward. State legislatures, including North Carolina's, are failing our public schools. Missed opportunity. North Carolina's legislature for the last few years has refused to keep pace with other states in teacher pay, so thousands of teacher jobs went unfilled. Let's be clear, that has caused our students to suffer. Missed opportunity. The legislature has refused to sufficiently fund counselors and school nurses, which is devastating for students who need that support. Missed opportunity. Claxton Elementary has been able to do amazing work in this brand new school. I saw it firsthand. It was fantastic. But the legislature wouldn't even consider a statewide bond referendum to renovate and build new schools like this in North Carolina, the third fastest growing state in the country. And that has put many of our students at a disadvantage in overcrowded and outdated classrooms. Missed opportunity. But the biggest missed opportunity, ironically, co-opts the word opportunity. Opportunity scholarships, otherwise known as taxpayer-funded private school vouchers for the wealthy, the right-wing public school ripoff. Just last month, the legislature gave $463 million of your tax dollars to higher income people, many of whom have already chosen private schools that they can already afford. We could have used that money to pay our teachers more and invest in our public school students. I appreciate the work that many of our private schools do, and they have a place in our society for many of our families. But I worry about the lower income students at many of these private schools using vouchers because there are no requirements for teachers to be licensed, no requirements for student learning, and no requirements to even take classroom attendance. And in fact, almost 60% of private schools that receive the most voucher money are not even accredited. Missed opportunity. The truth is, not only do studies in other states show private school vouchers dig deep budget holes, but they also show that students who use them do not perform better than in public schools. But in North Carolina, we just don't know what kind of education these students are getting because these private schools using taxpayer money don't have to tell the taxpayers anything about how they're using their money. Yet the legislature is still taking billions of dollars, billions that they have committed, that could go to public schools and send it to private schools with absolutely no accountability. Missed opportunity. If the legislature took those billions in voucher money and invested it in public schools, we could keep and attract more great teachers and pay them what they deserve. We could turn around our low-performing schools. We could provide more tutors and for students who are struggling. We could provide more opportunities for students with disabilities because unlike private schools, public schools are required to admit anybody who shows up. Missed opportunity. Okay, but I am a positive person. I am a prisoner of hope. Sorry, all you great teachers out there. My mother was the greatest public school teacher in the history of North Carolina. And I'm deeply grateful for her work, and people still come up to me and say, I want to pay you a compliment, and I'll think it's about me, and they'll say, your mom was the greatest school teacher I ever had. I know what public schools can do. I and all my children attended public schools. My month rarely ends without visiting a couple of classrooms because I get so much out of it. I had so much fun today. And because I wanted North Carolina to know in all caps, bold-face, that education is the key to opportunity. I've seen the passion in the eyes of the teachers. I've seen the concerns on the brows of the principals and administrators. I've seen the energy and the dedication of parents and cafeteria workers and bus drivers and custodians and volunteers. And I have seen the future of North Carolina in the faces of thousands of girls and boys, young men and women. It gives me confidence. It gives me hope. You know, we expanded Medicaid in North Carolina by pulling together non-traditional coalitions of people who were able to convince Republican legislators in their own districts that this was an important issue for their success. We're beginning to do the same thing for public schools. That work must continue. Opportunity. My vision as your governor has been in North Carolina where people are better educated, where they're healthier, where they have more money in their pockets, and the opportunity to have lives of purpose and abundance. My staff hears it every day. Everything in my administration has moved us toward that mission. We've made great progress, but it is forever a work in progress. We cannot let our children down. We cannot ruin their opportunity. I will leave office next month, but this office will be in great hands with Governor-elect Stein. And I will never stop working for our public school students, teachers, and our schools. And I know that you won't either. As Dr. Seuss says, the more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you will go. Thank you guys very much.